Daytona Lagoon is a combination family entertainment center and water park. As the name suggests, the park is located in Daytona Beach, Florida, just 1 to 2 miles from the ocean. While this is not the largest park, it features multiple levels and it crams in something for everyone. This place is worth checking out for a few hours if you're in the area, and I'll explain why in this review. Adventure Landing opened in Jacksonville, Florida in 1995. This was also a combination FEC and water park. The property was successful, so they looked to expand. They built several different locations, also named Adventure Landing. One was built in Daytona Beach in 1998. In 2005, the location was sold and rebranded as Daytona Lagoon, and the property has gone by that name ever since. It was sold 2 more times though, once in 2015 to United Parks, and most recently in late 2021 to BWL Acquisition. This park setting is extremely convenient for beachgoers. It is just a short walk from the main boardwalk, but you may miss the park unless you know it exists. The nearby high-rise hotels block the slides from most vantage points. Unfortunately, that also means you get limited views of the ocean from within the park as well. The proximity to the water has been an issue during hurricane season. The park has been hit by a few storms through the years, but none more damaging than Hurricane Irma in 2017. This caused major damage to the property, most notably to the Kraken's Conquest mat racing slide. Parts of the slide blew into the adjacent street. The dry attractions amazingly opened a week later, and the water park is now better than ever because that damaged tower was replaced by 2 new attractions. One other issue with this park's location is that it does not have its own dedicated parking lot. However, there is a garage directly adjacent to the property with plenty of spaces. On Google Maps, it is called the Ocean Walk Parking Garage. The normal daily rate is $15, but you can get a discounted $5 parking rate if you visit Daytona Lagoon. Either inform the attendant on the way in if it's manned, or have the water park validate your ticket upon exiting. That is an extremely reasonable rate, especially given the park is in a prime tourist destination, and the garage gives great views of the park as a bonus. If you want to visit, everyone enters through the arcade. You then proceed to the ticket counter, whether you're visiting the FEC or water park. You then decide what you want to experience. For the sake of this video, I am going to focus on the water park. I did not spend any time on the dry side. This is open year-round though, and it looks to have the usual FEC staples. The arcade is a modern fleet of games, plus some additional attractions like a ropes course, a rock wall, laser tag, and bumper cars. Then outdoors, there's a miniature golf course and a go-kart track. These are strategically placed beneath a few water slides to maximize space. There also is an abandoned S&S Scream and Swing that unfortunately has not operated in a decade. If you want to visit the water park, it is available March through September. Admission options vary by date and time. Normally, the park costs $45 to $50 per person. I think that's a bit steep for what they offer because this is not a full-day park. You can comfortably do everything here in just a few hours. Thankfully, there are plenty of deals to make admission more palatable. You can save a few dollars buying your tickets online, or if you're a Florida resident. On Mondays, the park offers 2-for-1 admission, which is a great deal for families and groups. That makes admission a much more reasonable $20 per person. Then the park has discounted afternoon rates. If you visit after 3 p.m., admission is just $23 to $30 depending on the day. And as a bonus, there are 3 nights when the park is open until 10 p.m. These are Wednesday family nights, Friday luau nights, and Saturday night slides. Not only do you have the rare opportunity to try some water slides in the dark, but these events are accompanied by music and live entertainment. I visited during Saturday night slides, and the park had a really nice atmosphere. It is also worth knowing the park has a spectator pass for $24 to $29 if you just want to supervise your family or group. The other fee you may encounter is for an all-day locker. These cost $10 each. The price and size is similar to other water parks. You purchase one by scanning a QR code on any empty locker. Daytona Lagoon cleverly uses all of their space. The park spans multiple levels. The lower half has the wave pool, children's playground, lazy river, and buildings. Around the perimeter, you have stacked decks with cabanas and lounge chairs. Then the water slides are mostly built on raised platforms, usually above other attractions or amenities. Those slides also look quite good, as many have fresh multicolored paint schemes. There isn't anything in terms of theming though. This park utilizes all their space for attractions, which is understandable. I have only visited this park once, but I went on a hot summer Saturday, which you think would draw peak crowds. Most slides were amazingly walk-ons. The two exceptions were Shaka Halfpipe and Blackbeard's Revenge, both of which had 10 to 15 minute waits. I suspect the latter two will always have the longest waits due to their lower throughputs, so I would prioritize these slides if you arrive early and/or notice them with short waits. Operations were fine for the crowd levels I witnessed, but there were two operational policies that could cause lines to crawl on busier days. First, the park often would not load the next riders until the prior guests hit the splashdown pool. It would not be until this point that dictate the rules of the slide, causing large gaps in between riders. Second, there is a single employee atop the tower for Shaka Halfpipe and Kraken's Revenge, so they would run a cycle on one slide and switch to the other. Now let's move on to the attraction lineup. It is not overly large, but it has enough variety. The most unique slide here is Shaka Halfpipe. This was built by Arihant, who have not built many slides stateside. This is a pendulum slide forming a V-shape. Guests rock back and forth until splashing to a stop. The initial drop is not steep enough to offer airtime, but it does have some nice zip from its sheer size. The following rocks are fairly mild though because of how quickly you decelerate. On the same tower is Kraken's Revenge, the park's new mat racing slide. This was also supplied by Arihant. This one is a large double down. I was not able to go airborne, even with a good push, but the course is swift, and the visuals are fun between the aqualucent rings at the start and the racing element at the end. Also on the upper platform is Blackbeard's Revenge. This is a wet-dry water slide where you sit in a dinghy boat. The ride is near total darkness. If you have a heavier raft, you can get some good speed on the turns and get a pinch of airtime on the sudden dips. The other tube slides are Poseidon's Plunge. There are 3 courses to choose from, one enclosed, one semi-enclosed, and one open. The 3 slides are on the slower side, but you can request to go backwards, which adds a pinch of thrills. The little dips are solid when you cannot see them coming, and there are 1 or 2 turns that'll really get you swaying. The final major slide is the best of the bunch, Adventure Mountain. This is a body slide tucked in the corner of the park, so make sure not to miss it. This is a 1080-degree downward spiral that gets increasingly tighter. Add in the increasing speed, and you pull some serious G's in the second half. After hitting the water, I was dizzy and could not walk straight. As a bonus, there are 2 mirrored sides so you can race a friend. There are some slits that you'll feel on your back, but it wasn't too uncomfortable for me. All the major slides here have just a 42-inch height requirement, making them accessible even for young kids. But there also is a dedicated kids area and Castaway Children's Play area. This is a water fortress with a giant dump bucket, all sorts of sprayers, and some smaller body slides. Beyond the slides, this park also features a big wave pool in the center of the park. This looked to be the most popular attraction. And then there's a basic lazy river around the perimeter. The visuals are not too special because it's mostly beneath the park's upper levels, but it is slow and relaxing at least. If you get hungry, there are a few food places, but I didn't try any of them during my short visit. I also did not find any notable restaurants in Daytona Beach as a whole. I strongly recommend driving a half hour south to New Smyrna Beach, either before or after your visit. I found some great local restaurants there. So, do I recommend Daytona Lagoon? If you're in the Daytona Beach area, yes. It is one of the town's better attractions. It's not the largest water park, but it has a solid mix of slides, including some from a rare manufacturer, and a standout ride in Adventure Mountain. Then the park is clean and has a pleasant atmosphere. Just make sure to take advantage of those evening specials. Not only will you save a lot of money, but the music gives the park a bit more energy. And if you're interested, the FEC offerings are available as well. Now, I much prefer the water parks 1.5 hours west in Orlando, Florida. Those parks are way larger and better themed. They are also more expensive though. Daytona Lagoon is a fine option if you're already in the area, don't want to drive, and want a more laid-back park. It's not one I rushed back to, but I enjoyed my time there. One final thing I want to note because most of my audience are fans of amusement parks. At the nearby Daytona International Speedway, you can find one of the original trains for Six Flags Magic Mountain's Superman the Escape. This is a historic vehicle because it was the first coaster in the United States to break the 100-mile-per-hour speed barrier. The vehicle is located just behind the Exalta Gate. It is visible from within the parking lot, and the official tram passes right on by it. It's a weird place to see a coaster train, but the theme park nerd within me was most certainly geeking out. So those are my thoughts on Daytona Lagoon. Have you been to this water park? What are your thoughts about the slides or this park setup? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.